going to talk about today, which is prohibition. The whole concept of prohibition was somebody telling people what they should do, people wanting to test the boundaries and wanting to do what they wanted to do, okay? And we're going to get to all the details up. If we're having debates going forward in the next week, a lot of this stuff can be valid to you. So just if you want to jot down an idea or two on that sheet of paper where you wrote your quick write, that will work as well, okay? So what was it? At its most plain deal, the 18th Amendment passed in 1919, and it stated very simply that it prohibited the transportation, sale, and manufacturing of alcohol, okay? You couldn't move it, you couldn't sell it, you couldn't make it. That's it. That was the law, the 18th Amendment. It was only 111 words long. But that was it, as simple as it can be. You can't make it, can't move it, can't sell it, okay? Keep that in mind going forward. And we're all smart people in here. We're noticing something about that law. What's missing from what's highlighted right there? Because that's the law in itself, in a nutshell. But what's missing out of that statement? Is it? They say nothing about drinking it, right? What else?
Buying.
They say nothing about buying it. So already we're going to start seeing that there's a conflict in between what the law is asking us to do and what people are going to end up doing anyways, right? That amendment was put in place. But what enforced it though? And that was the Volstead Act, and you guys can potentially use this into your debates, okay? So the Volstead Act was actually what enforced the law. The 18th Amendment said that you couldn't sell it, couldn't move it, couldn't make it. The Volstead Act said what the rules implied, okay? And I put these down for your benefit, but the problem with the Volstead Act is 31 pages long. There's only so much time that I had to put all these things down. One was 111 words, this is 31 pages, so I just kind of took some key ideas out of here. But look at this first one though. Drink liquor in your own home or in the home of a friend when you are a guest. So already the law's dictating that you can drink alcohol. So here's the problem though, let's think logically. Where am I getting it?
The manufacturer.
It's illegal.
Then you can make it, right?
And make it.
Can't make it.
A country, like a foreign country?
Can't transport it.
So where do they get it? Like
For black market.
illegally?
Black market.
Illegally.
And that's what we're gonna get to. So they say that you can have alcohol and you can drink it. But they're not considering the law says that you can't move it, cannot sell it, you cannot make it, okay? So keep that in mind. And all these other rules apply in different ways that you can actually own some type of liquor for medical prescriptions. If you have a prescription, you can buy some. This one I found interesting on the bottom. Manufacture, sell, or transport liquor for non-beverage or sacramental purposes provided you obtain a government permit. So you can make it, sell it, and move it, but it can't be for drinking purposes. It has to be for some type of medicine, some type of experiment, or the church can use it for their ceremonies, like the wine that they do at church. That's another thing that you can't do, right? So there's certain exceptions to the rules. But why is this problematic towards the actual wording to the law that we saw originally? Because it said you can't move it, can't sell it, can't make it. What's all this telling us? That you can have it, right? But how can I have it if I'm technically not supposed to be able to find a place to get it, right? Theoretically. Do these points help support the 18th Amendment? Kind of makes it a little more complicated, right?
Yeah.
But what caused it? Prohibition. Just the general idea of prohibition. That law got set in place, but it didn't just come out of nowhere. There were reasons involved why it got put into place. Certain demands that were made. At the time, remember the 1920s was a lot of vast social change. Certain groups like the Women's Christian Temperance Union and Anti-Union League, which you can't reference for your debates, started calling out, they were reform groups, started calling out that alcohol was the main cause of all social ills, okay? They will likely lead to domestic violence, poor job performance, increase in crime rate. You guys know what those things are. So anything that was going bad in society, reformers and people that wanted to change society and their view of positivity would blame alcohol. Their underlying rule was that no alcohol would decrease corruption. Anything bad that was happening was alcohol related in some way or capacity. So they felt, get rid of it, things will be excellent socially, okay? And we both, it's not true. Lots of things happen that are not alcohol related. It's just the way it is. But they had an agenda, okay? Religious groups came out, the same thing, appealing to your religious ideals, saying that it was a sin to by taking alcohol, okay? Now you're drawing on somebody's religious beliefs and ideals, which religion was a lot stronger thing at the time. Not that it's not now, but at the time it was very entwined in people's lives, okay? So they were barking on that. and nativism. Remember how we talked about how there was always this general like negative feeling on immigrants? That was another reason why they started targeting that. They said that immigrants were one of the main causes of drunkenness, providing alcohol, because they're the ones that drank it. Germans came here and they had master brewery techniques, so they actually partook a lot, okay? So there was a stronger hate towards immigrants. So again, now they're calling to ban alcohol to control the immigrants as well, okay? So it's like this overlying thing of that was supposed to be gotten rid of just by getting rid of alcohol itself. Actually researched a little bit. This is one of the pro-propaganda things for prohibition itself. That you're gonna essentially keep America's youth pure by voting against the sale of liquors, okay? That existed at the time. That was a poster that was floating around during the 1920s. So we'll get to, was there positive effects to prohibition? Yeah, there was. In the span of 13